Hey guys, welcome to another YouTube video on my YouTube channel. Today we're here for round 4 of the current PSGL E-Series Championship at Canada. We are straight away heading into our first Q1 banker lap as we approach turn 1 and turn 2. Actually quite decent first two corners for me, as I didn't prepare a lot for this race at all. I only knew that I would race a few hours before it, so yeah, not ideal, but I just wanted to make the most of it. Now finishing the first sector with an 18-9 split, not ideal at all. Normally should be an 18-7 or even maybe an 18-6. Yeah, in general in this race, as we're currently P7 in the championship, we for sure try to get some positions after this race, as Thomas Tess is ahead of us, then Veloce Academy, Race Clutch, Aston and Ferrari and Red Bull in P1 with 117 points, and we currently have 57 points. So the first 3 rounds weren't ideal at all for us as a team, but yeah, now we just want to try to make a comeback in the next few rounds and maybe then get to the top of the standings again, as we now finish our first banker lap with a little slide in the last corner. Not an ideal lap at all, as you may have seen in the hairpin as well. Yeah, now let's already head into our second run of Q1. Our engineer told us that it may gonna rain in the next 2 sessions, so in Q2 and Q3. So he said we can go out 3 times in Q1 and that it would be no problem. So I actually kind of liked it just to get into the rhythm more, even though I already had 2 moments here in this lap, but still on an improvement by 1/10. And yeah, now going into the second sector, the ES deployment is as always very important, as yeah, we just want to maximize our straight line speed. Now going into the right left, decent 2 corners, and now already 1.8 tenths up, going into the hairpin now. Kind of tried to brake later than the lap before, and now focused more on the exit and improved the lap time now by half a tenth. Now sending it into the last chicane, still trying to make it safe, not to invalidate. And this lap already should be enough to get into Q2 as 7-9. And as you now can hear, Taiko was kind of fuming as he said that he messed up his last run, and that means he's out of Q1, which isn't ideal at all for the race later. And yeah, now let's head into Q2. As you can see, the sky got a little bit darker, so our engineers told us that in 2 to 3 minutes it might already gonna start raining. So yeah, this lap was basically the lap that counts. Now going into the difficult right and left, easy to invalidate. They are touching the wall on the exit, so not ideal at all with an 18-8 split. Now get the car rotated there on the left and right, and now already going into hot lap and then overtake again. Still someone trying not to use too much ERS, so we have enough for the last 2 straights, and already have an kind of scary moment there again. So yeah, not an ideal lap at all. At this point I was already thinking about would I even make it into Q3 with this lap, as it was very bad. And now we head into the final chicane. I knew I had to go all in now, and yeah, putting the brake bias 1 downwards so I have good rotation. But now actually I kind of lost the car on the exit there, and yeah, Lenny with a 7-8 and I've actually done an 8-3, so not a good lap at all. And yeah, I'm already asking my engineer when is it gonna rain, because I absolutely need to get a second lap there.
Like a lot of people invalidated.
Yeah, like so many. I'm still P7.
Yeah, and I was very surprised that so many people invalidated or got caught by the rain. As you can see, we managed to get into Q3 with the 8th position, so very happy with that. And now, as you can see, it's raining a lot in Q3 for our first lap, putting the ERS to none to get the best traction. Yeah, we actually were the ones who went out the latest, which probably wasn't ideal at all, as the track got wetter and wetter. So yeah, now finishing the first sector with quite a decent one. We actually made some setup improvements, so yeah, just to have a little bit more grip in this rainy conditions. as we now head into the second sector in a few moments. The thing is, as we put the ERS to none, we have way more on the straight, so this was also quite good. So I was actually quite satisfied with this lap. Now, didn't know where to brake it, also kinda drifted the car into the corner. Yeah, now as you also can see on the right bottom, we are driving with 54 brake bias just to get a little bit more stability on the front. On the rear, I mean. Not to lose the car on the exits. Now, actually, I did know where to brake for the last corner, and then unfortunately we invalidate the lap. Yeah, and now we straight away head into a last run of Q3. This was the one which counted the most, as the track actually got faster. I mean, we're already half a tenth down, but I knew that I can still improve. So yeah, try to be fast on the throttle here again. And using ERS. Going down to none again with the ERS mode. Now actually get the apex better than before, and look how much this already, look how much time we already gained. It's 1.2 tenths up now. Going into the right and then left, kind of missed the apex there. And now we are already 3 tenths up, so it's looking very good for now. And now just trying to brake as late as possible into the hairpin. Flick the wheel there just to get a little bit more stability for me, and I feel like that's a technique I kinda learned by myself, or it's just my driving style. And yeah, now 7 tenths up, going into the final chicane. I knew that I should not invalidate Dylan with a 10-2 lap time. Get the car hooked up nicely. They lost the car a little bit on the exit, which definitely cost us half a tenth.
Let's go!
But we finished the lap with an 18-2, but unfortunately, as you now can see, Lenny, yeah, Lenny's doing a 2:19 and we did a 2:26, so yeah, he was 7,000 faster than us. Kinda unfortunate, but I was still very happy with P2 considering the preparation I did for this race. So yeah, exactly. Now let's straight away head into the race. We are starting on hard. Dylan and Patrick, the two Ferraris, on medium. As we actually get quite good traction from the start. Already alongside Lenny, and now I kind of miscalculated myself and went way too deep into turn 1. But yeah, Dylan already ahead of us, but I knew that he would overtake me in the next few laps anyway because of the better tires. And now we actually already collect our first warning, which isn't ideal at all, as obviously on this track it's very easy to get the warnings in general, so yeah. Not an ideal first lap.
Julian, Patrick is the only other medium runner on the entire grid. It's just Patrick.
Yeah.
Yeah, and as my engineer tells me that Patrick is the only other medium runner. So that's actually, I was kind of satisfied with that, so we will not lose too many positions in the first few laps from medium runners behind. As you now can see, Patrick is already going down the inside there. Now just trying to get good traction and not to lose the position to Ika. Yeah, now it was just all about staying with the two Ferraris and regaining ERS. Also trying to save the tires a little bit for later on in the stint. Now just trying to get smoothly through the last 2 corners. Now we finished the first lap with P4. I was quite satisfied with the position we were in at this point. Just because I knew that I couldn't do much at this point and just had to stick with them. But now we're going into the right-left. We already got the warning last lap, but now we actually get a second warning. So 1 more warning and we could get a 3-second time penalty. So not ideal at all. But we already jumped to lap 10. Still, everything was the same. Only Ika is now behind Jan Holiday. So yeah, now going down the hairpin. And now my engineer told us that Patrick and Dylan are gonna pit in the next few laps, so I just wanted to make sure to be ahead of them, just to gain a few tenths if they pit, so they lose more basically. And now we are now behind Dylan, and yeah, there was kind of a gap forming behind, or at least I thought it was. So yeah, I was just trying to stick with Dylan now until he goes to the pits. Yeah, and now on the end of lap 16, Patrick already pitted, so yeah, I knew that Dylan would pit now as
Expecting
well.
Dylan to pit this lap.
What the fuck is that bump?
And exactly as my engineer now tells me, Dylan is gonna pit this lap, I actually want to overtake him. So yeah, he's just losing a few tenths, and it's good for me as I will stay in Lenny's DRS anyways.
Great move, Julian. Great move.
And yeah, tires are still looking decent at this point.
I'm gonna try to save your ass, so still don't want to pit these.
Exactly, and what I said there, just wanted to save some ERS and lose straight line speed so Dylan can't quite speed into the pit lane basically, or gain time. Yeah, and now the situation was looking quite decent. We just basically had to react what Lenny is doing in front and the cars behind. Now actually on lap 20, Lenny boxed, and as you can see, Ika retired and the safety car is coming out, and this is basically perfect for our strategy, as we now can box on the medium and basically should get out on P1 again. My engineer, or I disconnected from the VC, so I had no engineer and I had to make the strategy by myself, which wasn't a problem obviously, as we are going into the pits in the safety car anyways, but I was looking at my phone and trying to get into the VC again, and that's why I actually missed the pit stop, and we now lose the position to Reese, which isn't ideal at all. I mean, Reese got a drive-through penalty, so it didn't matter too much at this point. And as you also can see on the left top of the screen, that the two McLarens both got time penalties, so this is looking very good for the last few laps now of the race. Yeah, with Dylan in P4 with Hart, so we also have a tire advantage there. But as you can see on the right bottom, the tires are very cold, so it was difficult to get temperature into the tires, as we now restart the race in P2 with Piotr Stakolek behind us, and then Dylan and Simon Lokomsky in P5. So yeah, it was looking promising at this point. Now I just wanted to stay with Reese and make sure not to get overtaken by Dylan, which shouldn't be that difficult as he is on the harder tires. And now going into the third sector, I actually wanted to get ahead of Reese, so we're braking late on the outside, trying to get the move done there, and getting quite a good traction actually. So now we're ahead of Reese, which is looking very good. So yeah, but the thing is, now he's got the slipstream, so he tries to overtake us, but we are just using a lot of ERS, so we can make sure to stay ahead. And Reese actually already going into the pits, serving his drive-through penalty, so yeah, it's looking promising at this point. Now skipping onto lap 28, Piotr and Sam Lukomsky overtook me before, but I overtake Piotr again, just to make sure to stay in P2, as it's obviously the best position to be in for the last two laps, so we can always react on the guy ahead. Yeah, basically going into the first and second sector was always all about trying to stick with the guy in front and regaining ERS as much as possible. Yeah, and now going on to lap 29, and this lap I was actually closing into Simon quite a lot and also using a lot of ERS to get the fastest lap. So yeah, it was looking good just to get the extra point. And now trying to be fast in the last two corners but not get the warning, as we're already on 2 warnings, as I said before. Now finishing the lap, getting the fastest lap, so that's an extra point for us if nobody is gonna get the fastest lap later. And now Simon is overtaking us again. We were kind of swapping at this point, and as you can see, Dylan actually lost DRS to Lenny ahead, so this is looking very good, because even if we get 3 seconds now, we would still be in the lead. As we now straight away jump to lap 33 of the race. Now having 70% ERS, so I knew that I could use quite a lot, as we were usually always regaining 40 to 50% in the first and second sector. Lenny overtakes Simon again, and at this point I still wasn't in the VC with my engineer, so I didn't know if Lenny's penalty could be removable. So yeah, this was the moment where I realized I still should make sure that I stay ahead of Lenny when the race is ending. So yeah, now going into the third sector of lap 34. with 70% DRS, so just trying to get the good exit and not get overtaken by both of them. I actually planned to get overtaken by Lenny, so I would have DRS for the last lap. And my plan actually worked out there, as Simon didn't want to overtake me. And now just trying to save ERS and stay with Lenny's DRS. So yeah, now going into the last lap of the race, using non-ERS here just to regain as much as possible. Lenny with a kind of snap there. Yeah, and as you can see, Will Lewis in P5 now, he got no penalties as well. So yeah, we just want to make sure that we also don't get a penalty now and just win the race. Now going into the second sector, we got quite a lot of ERS now. Even though I actually wanted to have a little bit more just to make sure that we have enough for the start-finish straight and the straight before the chicane. Now actually I have to use quite a lot as we were quite a bit far behind Lenny. Braking late and now trying to get the good exit there. Using a lot of ERS now, and Lenny actually with 4.5 tenths ahead of us. I didn't know if I would still get the move done. But we actually go for the outside there to get a better line through the chicane, and now we absolutely send it and unfortunately get 3 seconds time penalty, but Lenny got 3 seconds as well. Now it was all about staying ahead of Lenny, and we actually get the move done in the end and win the Canada PSGL E-Series race. So I was very happy with that. Dylan 4 tenths behind us actually with the 3 second time penalty for me. So yeah, all in all, very happy about the result. Now getting up the standings in P5 now with RHG, only 35 points behind Ferrari now in the end. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed my YouTube video and make sure to like and subscribe, and hope to see you at the next one.